Hey everyone, and welcome back. So today we're going to be doing a 5-minute review of Night Lights on the Nintendo Switch. If we start with the basics, this is a 2D puzzle platformer and it released on November 26th of 2021. It currently sells for $4.99 on the Nintendo Switch eShop. It is published by Radalaika Games and it has a download size of 91 megabytes. Now don't forget, as you're watching this review, if you do like the content, please consider hitting that like button and subscribing to the channel if you aren't already. So today we are jumping straight into the gameplay, because the game offers no actual storyline elements within the game itself. The general gameplay here is that of a puzzle platformer, broken up into 45 levels. The game does offer an original twist with very slight Metroidvania elements where as you acquire new abilities, you will revisit previous zones to gain access to the new levels. The main mechanic behind the puzzles has to do with light manipulation, which will allow you to influence the environment, such as opening passages or making some objects and platforms intangible. I found the difficulty level of the puzzles low but pleasing, and the slight Metroidvania feeling to the game was a nice twist. It took me slightly under 2 hours to complete. Now moving on to the controls, they are simple and presented gradually as you progress. At first, you will only be able to jump and push-pull objects. You will gradually acquire the ability to run, double jump, dash, and even produce light yourself. The controls feel good, although slightly floaty in nature. Although this does seem voluntary, as this floatiness is actually necessary for completing certain elements. On a few rare occasions, the physics did react a little oddly, but nothing was game-breaking, just it felt a little wonky from time to time. Overall, mostly your standard fare for a budget-end puzzle platformer. Next, on to the graphics and sound. By the words of the developer themselves, they were going for a minimalistic and calming aesthetic, and I think this represents perfectly the overall presentation of the game. The heavy use of blues and grays really does give an overall calming effect. I also want to commend the excellent use of oranges as contrasts that I found very visually appealing. On the sound side, it is once again a minimalistic and ambient approach. When the soundtrack is playing, it was relaxing and mainly pleasing. I do have two problems here, however. The first is the soundtrack would go completely quiet at some points, and this felt like a glitch in the track loop and not intended. Or if it was intended, I find the choice very odd. Secondly, activating your dash emits a loud screech noise and totally ruined the overall calming presentation of the game. This was very off-putting and was definitely my least favorite thing in the whole game. Now it's time for the verdict, and if it's the first time you're watching one of my videos, you can check out my full grading scale in the description down below. And in the case of Night Lights on the Nintendo Switch, I'm going to be giving it a 7, putting it on the low end of a good game. Simply put, for only $5, you're getting a short, yet solid and relaxing puzzle platformer. It doesn't really do anything to reinvent the wheel, but it does offer a nice twist with its Metroidvania-like level progression. I just really overall wish you could change that awful dash sound effect. So now let me know, are you going to be picking up Night Lights on the Nintendo Switch? Also, I'd like your feedback on this new 5-minute review format that will be applied to simpler and shorter games. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. And don't forget, on the way out, that if you did like the content, please consider hitting that like button, subscribing to the channel if you aren't already, and hitting that notification bell so you know when all my future content comes out. And as usual, I hope I'll see you in my next video.